Alright, live on Facebook and Instagram. Follow your passion, and if you don't know what it is, realize that one reason for your existence on this earth is to find it. That's what Oprah Winfrey said. Hi, y'all. Thanks so much for joining me. In less than 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you, it's a little different today, some quick tips from 3 leading women in business that you can actually start implementing immediately as a business owner. Please like and share this video if you get value from it. And if you're listening to it on the podcast, on the replay, just type hashtag replay, or you can even put your support in there as well. So I'm Dr. P. I'm a strategic business coach, and I've been a school psychologist for about 10 years in K-12 schools, serving on professional organization committees. I'm an advisor for CapDeck Learning. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. Throughout my years, with everything I've done, people have said to me, "Oh my gosh, you're such a leader. You have such amazing leadership skills." And for me, I just see it as a way of helping others to reach their success. I never quite looked at it as being a leader, or I wasn't going after anybody to be calling me a leader, or let alone a good leader. There are times when people also criticize you and criticize your leadership style. That just comes with everything that we do, right? But there's a difference between giving feedback and criticizing, giving that negativity. There really is. But that's a topic for a video for another time. Today, wanted to talk about something very positive. Because, sometimes we have this tendency to look at competitors. So instead of looking at each other as a competitor, we can look at each other and learn from each other. And as women-owned businesses, as a women-owned business for me, I wanted to take some time to recognize some of the leading women in business. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 leading women in business and some quick tips from them to help each and every one of us out to get even better at being the leaders in our own businesses. So back to that quote I mentioned, follow your passion, and if you don't know what it is, realize that one reason for your existence on this earth is to find it. That's what Oprah Winfrey said. So we have to find our passion, and being a leader, being a business owner, we are going to be finding our passion, right? And we are going to be building on that. So these tips from these 3 leading women, you're going to love them. They're so easy and simple for you to actually start implementing immediately. I'm so excited though to share about one of my friends. Friend of mine, Ernestine Lammers. She's a founder of County Goods. She just won the Phyllis Richard Award from the Child Guidance Center here in Austin, Texas. So the Phyllis Richard Award celebrates efforts that are made to improve outcomes for youth, and it is an honor to be nominated. So for this award, to be nominated for this award, actually, the individual has to have used their dedication, leadership, innovation, and ability to overcome obstacles that they encountered so that they can create a better environment for children in their community, right? So congratulations to my friend Ernestine Lammers of County Goods. So if you're not familiar with County Goods, they are an amazing company. They not only sell jewelry and scarves and bags, they also do an amazing thing with how they actually get their products and what they do with it afterwards. And I'm not going to let that cat out the bag. I'll encourage each and every one of you to go and check out County Goods, because it is more than just buying jewelry, it's more than just buying scarves, it's more than just buying a bag. Your money, when you purchase something from County Goods, goes much further than you think it does. So go check them out, but not right now though, at the end of this video. So after hearing about Ernestine's great news, it really inspired me to talk about this topic today, and that is recognizing leading women in business. So let's jump right into it, right? So leading women in business. First up is Erica Sanchez. She's the owner and president of Made Bright. She started her business in 2002 and has had 400 clients and counting. Her tips for success do include listening and trusting in the inner voice inside of you. Another one is positive criticism is an important element to her leadership style. Her third one is when in a challenging situation, you should care for your staff. Because, sometimes we do encounter challenging situations, and we might tend to forget about the people involved in the situation. But honestly, and I've learned that too, if you care for the people in the situation, then you're better able to handle that challenge. And then the fourth tip from Erica Sanchez is the decisions that you make should show your staff that you respect and that you value them. So that's really looking at your staff as a part of your overarching team, and that goes a long way when you can show that you respect and you value them. So that's Erica Sanchez. So next up is Kelly Solomon. She is the CEO and founder of Signature Coast Holdings. So she grew her landscaping business from her garage to a spot on the 100 companies in the United States. That is amazing, right? So she's one of the few females in the landscaping business, and she knows a thing or two about mergers and acquisitions, because in 15 years she's done 4 of them. So she knows a thing or two about them. So for her leadership style, and for her tip, she said, be accountable and hold people accountable. But I also want to throw in there that accountability is not micromanaging. Accountability is not nitpicking. And unfortunately, there's so many times when people believe when you hold them accountable for things, they think that you're being nitpicky and you're monitoring their every move. But that also boils down to their lack of understanding of what accountability is. So you might have to do a little teaching to your team about what accountability means. So next up from Kelly Solomon is give priority to your staff's needs. So your staff are the core and the heart of your company. So just like Erica Sanchez had mentioned in terms of caring for your staff, Kelly Solomon is also talking about the fact, care for your staff, because they are the core of your company, they're the heart of your company, and they're the ones that continue to let everything happen on a daily basis. Then the third one is you can actually make a profit while still being kind. And, some of you might be going, really? Because when you look at some of those people you've seen out there, some of them don't seem to be kind, but then they're talking about all the, the profits that they've earned. But you can still be kind and turn a profit. That's a tip from Kelly Solomon. And the fourth tip from her is explain the why to your team. Because when people understand the why, they're more better able at wrapping their minds around what you're actually asking them to do, rather than sitting out and guessing and trying to figure out what exactly is it that you're expecting from them. So taking some time to explain the why to them, and it also helps with getting buy-in from your team as well, because once they can understand why, and especially how that why connects to their role in the big picture, then you are better able to get that performance and productivity out of your team and keep your morale high, job satisfaction high, all of those positive qualities that we're looking for in a successful business. So those are 2 ladies that I mentioned. So the third one I wanted to share is Chris Tia Donaldson. She is the CEO of Thank God It's Natural, TGIN. That's her business. So she grew her beauty business from the trunk of her car to a seat on the Inc. 5000 business list. So remember, Kelly Solomon grew her landscaping business from her garage to a spot on the 100 companies list in the U.S. Chris Tia Donaldson grew her business from the trunk of her car into securing a seat on the Inc. 5000 business list. Hi, thanks for joining on Facebook. You can say hi and where you're joining from in the comments. Just sharing some tips from some leading women in business, and already talked about 2 of them, and now I'm going to be talking about the third one. So the third one is Chris Tia Donaldson, CEO of Thank God It's Natural. Like I mentioned, she grew her business. I think it's the third time I'm saying this, right? Because it's pretty awesome. She grew her beauty business from the trunk of her car to securing a seat on Inc.'s 5000 business list. That is awesome. She started her business in 2013 and has been able to make such an accomplishment. And she's made some other accomplishments as well. One of the things she's really proud of is the fact that you can find her products in Target. So that's something that she was working on, and she's very proud of the fact that you can find her products in Target. She did battle breast cancer, and while she was out on medical leave, her team did rise to the challenge. They did. She thought that maybe it would not have worked out that way, but they rose to the challenge. And not only did they rise to it, but they were awesome. And the company continued to thrive while she was out on medical. And a big part of that is how she developed her team. So, no surprise, her tips are about teams, right? And her first one is trust in your team. Because once you trust in your team, that's going to re-energize and reinvigorate accountability. Then the next one she mentioned about is make self-care a priority. And sometimes we get so caught up in our businesses, we're constantly working, and we don't leave some time for some downtime. Because, 24 hours in a day, and yet we want to be working 24 hours in a day, and that's not feasible. We do have to take some time for self-care. And our self-care might look different. For some of you, it might be watching a movie. For others, it's taking a walk. For some, it's just sitting down and meditating. It doesn't matter what self-care looks like, but we do need to take some time for self-care. The third one that Christia Donaldson mentioned was build your emotional stamina. And I know y'all can relate to this because being a business owner, running a business, it does involve some ups and downs. It's that roller coaster ride, right? You go up and you go down. So you do have to build that emotional stamina to help you with going through the good times and the bad times as well. Then the fourth one she mentioned was show your creativity. Don't be afraid to be creative. Because when you're sitting and brainstorming with your team, or even if you're by yourself, don't be afraid of, and I mean by yourself in the sense of being a solo entrepreneur, don't be afraid of actually being creative. Some people call it thinking outside of the box. Remember that at the beginning I mentioned Erica Sanchez, and she said, listen and trust to that inner voice that you have. So if there's something creative that you've been thinking about, listen and trust that inner voice that you have, and give it a shot and see where that will take you. So for the fifth one from Christia Donaldson is be an advocate for those that you're seeing being victims of an injustice. That's another tip that she shared for her own leadership style that she has in her business. Thank God it's natural. So these are just 3 of the many leading women in business. And I have a challenge for you. I challenge you to find leading women in your business industry and see what you can learn from them. Because instead of looking at others, as I mentioned at the beginning of all of this, as competition, we can look at others as a source of knowledge, as a source of inspiration, and just to get some tips that we might not have considered before. So I do challenge you to find leading women in your business industry and see what you can learn from them. I'm Dr. Priscilla Kusa with Priscilla Kusa Consulting Solutions. Really thankful that you guys were here to join me. Again, congratulations to Ernestine Lammers from County Goods for winning the Phyllis Richard Award here in Austin yesterday. And remember, solutions plus actions equals results. Thanks, y'all. Bye.